What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Your boy is back with my review for Wildcard Weekend and my predictions for next week's Divisional round of the 2016-2017 NFL playoffs. Now, this year, I usually give a super detailed, in-depth review of Wildcard Weekend and most of the playoff games, but this week I'm not even really going to bother doing that because every single playoff game was predictable. A lot of people will say it was boring and predictable because all the teams that were supposed to win won. And you know how I do, when I make my predictions, I usually try to throw you guys a curveball, or I usually try to give you guys one or two underdog picks, but this year's kind of no point in doing that. Which is a complete turnaround from, I think it was last year, the year before last, when in the Wildcard Weekend round, all the away teams actually won and beat the home teams at Wildcard Weekend. It's a complete turnaround from last year. But, anyway, I picked if you guys see my prediction, I picked the Oakland Raiders to go over the Houston Texans. I don't know what the hell I was thinking when I made that prediction. I thought they could show some signs of life, but they really didn't have any answer. And it's a damn shame because Derek Carr was the heart and soul of that team, and when he went down, so did the playoff hopes and the Super Bowl hopes of the rest of the Oakland Raiders. But I guess that's what happens when you center your whole team around one guy and put all your eggs into one basket. And it's a damn shame because the running game wasn't there. Latavius Murray was pretty much shut down. The defense was half-assed. And, the backup quarterback didn't really, put in any kind of work or effort. He showed a little signs of life in the first half, but other than that, he ran out of gas. And it's a damn shame. But one thing I will say about the Houston Texans, even though I underrated them, their defense really did come alive, especially in the second and third half. Well, especially in the second and third quarters. They let up a little bit, but I guess it's because they were pretty much running away with it. But hell, they're gonna need to when they go up against the Patriots on next Sunday. But I'll get to that in a little bit. Now, next game, and I actually called this one right. I picked the Seahawks over the Detroit Lions. And the Detroit Lions, they just can't seem to get over the hump in the playoffs. They can't seem to get past the first round, no matter who they are matched up against. But they could be matched up against the damn 7 and 8 Redskins or something like that, and they still wouldn't get past the first round. I don't know if it's the coaching, I don't know if it's Matt Stafford, I don't know if it's the defense, but whatever it is, they just can't seem to get over the hump. And the Seahawks are pretty much like the most slept on and underrated team right now. Well, next to the Falcons, but once again, I'll get to that later. It was mostly a shutdown kind of game it wasn't a really high scoring game, but Russell Wilson and the offense of the Seahawks, they pretty much sealed it in the fourth quarter because they didn't really give they gave the defense for the Seahawks gave Matt Stafford no kind of breathing room, and that's the way you should do it. But that's the one game I called right. Well, one of the games that I called right. And of course, my favorite game of the week, which was the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Miami Dolphins. Sushi, anyone? But I figured that Miami was going to have a kind of a tough time trying to adjust to the weather in Pittsburgh because on the field they said it was 15 degrees, but it felt like 5 because of the 12, 13, 14 miles an hour wind chill. But in the first two, the Steelers came out guns a-blazing. Antonio Brown scored 2 touchdowns in a span of 8 minutes in the first quarter. And that really did show. In the defense, they look like their old selves. They look like the 2008, 2009 Steelers defense. And that's exactly how they're going to be if they want to go further in the postseason, maybe even make the Super Bowl. But, Ryan Tannehill, I could tell they were really missing him. And Bud Dupree, he pretty much just blasted the hell out of the quarterback. Hell, you can watch the video on YouTube, Vine. Vine doesn't really exist anymore. Vine's not popping. Or on Instagram. Just check out that Bud Dupree hit. Just type in Bud Dupree hit. But they shut down Jay Ajayi, and like I said, even the secondary, which was been particularly weak this year from Pittsburgh, even they came alive. I believe the score was 12 or 13-30, which is kind of a payback for the Week 6 game against the Dolphins. But and last but not least, the Green Bay Packers versus the New York Giants. And I said in my prediction that I picked the Giants to win by 3, but I was wrong. Dead wrong. Now, in the first half, they did a very, very good job of stopping the run and shutting Aaron Rodgers down. But then, in the second quarter, Aaron Rodgers woke up, and God almighty, he threw the prettiest Hail Mary in the last 5 seconds of the second quarter. And that pretty much lit the fire under the asses of the Green Bay Packers. And from there on out, they poured it on. And Clay Matthews, he had the play of the game, to tell you the truth, besides the Hail Mary. Because that was a strip sack and fumble, and he recovered it by himself. And I got to believe that in the NFC, they probably are the most dangerous team, and they probably actually could go all the way. But yeah, anyway, let's get on to my divisional round picks. And here's the divisional bracket as it stands right now. Okay, so first we've got the Houston Texans versus the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium. Uh, this is gonna, I hate to say it, but I mean, as good as the defense is for the Texans, Tom Brady's gonna carve those guys up. I mean, the linebackers and the defensive line for the Texans is good, but the secondary is gonna get eaten alive by Tom Brady in the receiving game. They probably, I mean, when it comes to receiving weapons and quarterback IQ, Tom Brady's top notch. They're not even going to need to rely on the running game for this match, as much as I hate to say it. And I think the Brock Osweiler, I mean, they're gonna get to him, and it's not even really going to be close. So I'm going to go ahead and say Patriots by 14, maybe even more. Next, we've got the Seahawks versus the Falcons. And this one is going to be very, very interesting. This one, I believe, is probably the toughest one to call because the Falcons, even though they got to the postseason, they are still continue to be slept on. They still continue to be underrated, which is a complete freaking travesty. Now, the Seahawks are like the damn Incredible Hulk because, sometimes they can have miscues and sometimes they cannot see eye to eye on defense. But other than that, they're a top-notch team. They deserve to be here. I mean, they're going to need to... I believe Julio Jones is going to have to be double-teamed. I mean, there's no way around that. And they're going to have to stop the run, of course. But I believe that... I mean, it's going to be Matt Ryan and Julio Jones versus the entire secondary for the Seahawks. That's pretty much what the whole game is going to revolve around. And bold prediction. I'm going to give it to the Seahawks by 6 points. Very bold, very bold. Then we got the Steelers versus the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. This one is really going to be interesting because the last time that the Steelers were at Arrowhead Stadium, they lost by, I believe it was 12 points. I believe it was like 13-25, something like that. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah, I believe. I mean, with the way that the Steelers are playing right now, especially on defense, I believe that they can really get to Alex Smith, and they can maybe even stop the run for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's one thing they're going to have to do. The keys to victory is for the Steelers in this game is they're going to have to keep doing what they did. They're going to have to get Bell very active. I believe if I were them, I would kind of rotate between Bell and D'Angelo Williams because I think that the Chiefs are kind of going to get wise to the running game because you know how he has the delayed running handoff. I think that they need to switch between a power back, which is D'Angelo Williams, and the elusive back, which is Bell. And of course, they need to, they either need to run it short or throw it deep to Brown or even Eli Rogers. Now, as far as what the Chiefs have to do to win, the Chiefs they need to really they need to score quick on their side, but they need to really eat up the clock. And Alex Smith, he's very, very good at scoring and eating up the clock. And the defense is going to have to play top notch. They really are. I mean, like they're going to have to stop Le'Veon Bell, in his delayed handoffs. They're going to have to blitz every single play, or at least every running play. But I believe that while the game plan is going to be good for both teams, I believe I'm going to have to give it a slight edge to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I might give it to Pittsburgh Steelers by 6. Last but not least, the Packers versus the Cowboys. The Cowboys, they're hot coming into the playoffs despite the fact they lost their Week 17 game. But I mean, hopefully they cleared the head of the cobwebs and they're ready to get back on track. And of course, you got the veteran Green Bay Packers. And I believe that if anybody can beat a team as hot as the Cowboys, it's the Green Bay Packers because Aaron Rodgers and the boys, they've been here before. And I'm more worried if Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, are they going to rise to the occasion or are they going to choke? I mean, because are they going to be used to that playoff spotlight? I mean, I don't think they are, and I think this is going to show. I believe that once Dak starts to feel the pressure, that he's going to start to make mistakes, and the defense for the Packers is going to really capitalize on those mistakes. But I believe this is probably going to be the highest scoring game of the entire divisional round, at least as far as back and forth. I'm going to give you guys another bold pick, but I'm going to go ahead and say the Green Bay Packers by 7. But anyway, that's my prediction. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll be back with the review the very next week and my review of the AFC NFC Championship. Peace.